Welcome to Small Business Celebration. We're continuing our series on small business owners who are getting the move on. And our guest this week, well, she co-owns a smog shop that utilizes the top 5 things that she learns when she travels abroad. This is Small Business Celebration. Welcome, where we chat with real business owners who have real success and learn from them about what works, what doesn't, and who want you to know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and it's not a train. Join us where you can learn something that you can use today to grow a strong and profitable business. I'm here with Karmen Shuford, the co-owner of Speedy Smog and Auto Repair. Welcome to Small Business Celebration.
Thank you for having me.
And for visionaries who don't know who you are you and what is it that you do?
I am Karmen Shuford. I am the co-owner of Speedy Smog and Auto Repair, owner and operator.
Now, the reason we're talking with Karmen today is because she and her husband, I should say, have grown this business very well in the last 8 years. And this is particularly significant because, well, Karmen, you have to know where this place is.
That is true. It is a hidden gem.
and where are we?
We are on White Lane,
okay,
in between Lily Drive and Ash Road, about a quarter mile east of Gosford Road.
Now, if you're not familiar with Bakersfield, what she's talking about is a major intersection that she's nowhere near, which is like a major faux pas when it comes to anything retail.
Yes.
It is.
That is a fact.
And you and your husband aren't the original owners
No,
of
we are
this.
not.
You bought this business how many years ago?
About 8 years ago in 2014.
And about how many cars a day were you guys smogging and servicing?
At that time, probably somewhere between 12 and 15.
How many are you doing today?
50 plus.
Okay. So you bought the business 8 years ago and you were doing 10, 12, 15 at most, and now you're doing 50 plus.
Yes.
That's significant.
It is. It's a lot of hard work and dedication.
Especially during a recession that happened during there, as well as COVID that also happened.
Yes.
You guys have done something that a lot of business owners only dream about as far as growth. What in general terms, and we'll go into more detail in the later segments, but in general terms, what have you and your husband done to have that kind of increase in volume?
You just stay honest.
Okay.
And it takes a lot of hard work, but having a connection with your customers and loving what you do matter.
Your husband was the first one to approach you about buying this business, correct?
Yes.
Why on earth would you want to go ahead and buy a smog shop?
It was a dream of his.
So you're blaming it on him.
It is his dream, but we now share it.
Okay. Well, what were you doing beforehand?
I was a chiropractic assistant.
Yeah, there's not a lot of similarities.
None at all. None at all.
But what has made you stick with doing the smog business? Because you wanted to do chiropractic,
yes,
and now you're doing smog, and it's unrelated. What has made you want to stick around?
I love what I do now.
Okay.
I love my customers. I am excited to get up and go to work every day, and I wouldn't change it.
Now, for visionaries who may be looking behind us and watching this on YouTube, what's behind this is not a smog shop.
No, this is our repair site.
Okay, and why do you have a repair site? Because right next door is the smog shop.
That is correct. So we're kind of a one-stop shop.
Okay.
So our customers most of the time originally start on our smog side as
Right.
a smog customer.
Sure.
Then they realize that we do light duty repairs on this side, and they know that they can trust us and we're honest and reliable, and so they quickly become our repair customers as well.
When you say light repair, what does that mean? Do you pull transmissions, differentials, do frame and body work?
So not at this time, due to COVID, we're down some technicians, but we definitely do brakes, radiators, water pumps,
Oh, okay.
coolant systems, things like that, shocks, struts, that type of work.
So did this start because you had customers that failed their smog test and they just needed something simple repaired on their car to make it pass? Or was it just something completely different that your husband said, no, I want to actually have a real shop?
So we did do smog repairs on the other side, but we outgrew it very quickly, and customers had a demand for other things, other additional to smog repairs. And so that's how that got started. And he's also able to use a trade that he's had for many years and he's very good at.
You and your husband own this business.
Yes.
Your children work in the business.
2 of them, yes, they do.
Oh, and what is it that they do for the family business?
So my oldest son, Kenny, is a smog technician. He started when he was 17. He's now going to be 30, so he's been here a while. He knows a few things. My oldest daughter, Lexi, is here as well. She's a service writer.
So I have to ask, tell me about the day when your son was standing next to a vehicle and the words that came out of his mouth on what needed to be fixed or what needed to be worked on or what needed to be tuned up was the day that he repeated the same stuff you and your husband had been saying for years.
Oh, well, he's been repeating a lot of things my husband said since he was about 2 and could talk.
And some of them are fit for camera.
Yes, most of them are. He loves cars. So he's been playing with tools and cars for as long as we can remember. I mean, he had a little Bigfoot truck that he would jack up and I'm going to fix it before he could even say I was going to fix it. But he started here when he was 17 and started repeating our language for smog.
And your daughter, when she came to work for the business, what was her entrance into it? Because was this one of those, okay, Mom, fine, I'll come to work? Or was it something else that happened?
No, she was really excited to come here. She had to get a job. She was 18 and Mom wasn't paying bills anymore. And she knew this business. She knew the customers. And so why would she go invest that in another company when she can do it in our family company? So she came to work here.
And they've been with you guys ever since?
That is correct.
Are they going to take over the family business?
That is our goal. That is our goal. We're hoping to stick around, and that is our goal, yes.
For visionaries who have fleets, have vehicles and trucks and whatnot for their businesses, what services do you offer for them?
So we do their oil changes, brake inspections, diagnostics, coolant repairs. We pick up, we drop off. Most of them have priority as far as scheduling, because we're usually about 2 weeks out.
Really?
We're pretty blessed on both sides, and so they do have priority scheduling because we realize that they need those vehicles to keep making money just like us.
If visionaries want to get in touch with you, business owners want to get in touch with you and learn about what you can do for them and their fleets and their business vehicles, how do they reach out to you?
They're going to call 661-834-7664, or they can email me at speedysmog75@yahoo.com. Attention, Karmen Shuford.
Website?
It's going to be speedysmog.com.
And social media?
Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
And when we come back, we're going to be talking about something that's very important for a lot of business owners. It's how do you translate technical speak into English, especially when you have customers that are nervous to even be talking to you in the first place. When we come right back. The winter season is rapidly approaching, but are the tires on your car or truck ready for wet weather? Bakersfield's best tire store, Cleroux Tire, has been serving families like yours for 80 years and installs and services the tires your family depends on when the wet weather comes. Give Cleroux Tire a call at 661-324-6069 and ask them about what tire works best for you and your budget. Call Cleroux Tire at 661-324-6069 or visit them at 530 East 21st Street in Bakersfield or at ClerouxTire.com today. The wet winter weather is rapidly approaching. Call Cleroux Tire at 661-324-6069 today. I'm here with Karmen Shuford, the co-owner of Speedy Smog and Auto Repair, and our visionary question comes from Mike, who asks, our business is very technical in nature. What tips do you have for translating the technical aspects of your business to your customer without coming across as condescending or putting down?
So I can relate to women very well on a different level than most men. Getting a smog is kind of terrifying, or having your car worked on.
Why is that?
Because they don't know them very well most of the time. They know how to put gas in them and drive them.
Right.
Other than that, they don't really know technical things about their vehicle.
Right.
And so they worry whether or not they're going to be taken advantage of, or, it's going to cost an arm and a leg that's unnecessary.
How do you translate, though? Because it's very easy for somebody to walk in and say, oh, you need the thingamabob that goes to the who's he what's it that connects to the diphthong, whatever it is.
Yes.
How do you translate that into English and put the customer at ease?
So I usually just put it in basic terms that they can understand. If it's a water pump, we talk about the cooling system, how it keeps their vehicle cool, and it's like the brain. We relate, oil and coolant to food and water on a human. We just kind of put it in basic terms where they can relate to it and they don't feel intimidated or dumb.
How did you learn this skill? Because for those of us that are introverts, you never guess it, I only play an actor on TV. but for those of us that have a hard time with those interpersonal skills, how did you learn this, or how did you come across and figure this out?
It's just kind of a gift that I have to relate to people. I can communicate with pretty much anyone on different levels. Right. And so I've just over the years learned that if you put it in terms they understand, it's a whole lot easier for them, and it opens them up and they feel comfortable with you.
Now, you guys service a whole wide variety of vehicles here.
Yes.
And we talked a little bit before we hit record on here. Karmen's favorite vehicles are European vehicles and diesels.
Definitely not.
What?
Definitely not. Diesels intimidate me.
Well, how so?
Well, first of all, I'm a little short,
okay.
and I can't even see over the hood of most of them, so that's a little intimidating. There's a lot more components to them that I'm familiar with, and so they're not my favorite vehicles.
So what happens when you have that lifted Ford F-150, the big knobby tires that comes in, that's got the big diesel engine into?
Right.
What do you do?
I usually get my husband or my son. In all honesty.
Sure. Honey, come here and take care of this.
Yes.
But what do you say to the customer? Because you do service them.
We do.
Okay.
So the customer never knows that I'm not knowledgeable with them, or that they're not my favorite thing.
Sure.
And so usually we just pull them in, we write them up just as we would anything else, and then one of the senior techs does it for me.
There you go.
Yes.
Now, one of the things you mentioned in the last segment is that you have really grown your business with fleet accounts.
Yes.
And this is something that's very important and crucial to the business, because that's part of the reason you get 50 vehicles a day coming in. And tell me about how you got your very first fleet account.
So that came from a friend of ours, Paul Wade.
Okay.
He owns Process Instruments, Inc.
Okay.
And he had a friend that was traveling in the summer from like Pennsylvania in a Ford truck, and his air conditioner went out.
In the summer in Bakersfield, and his air conditioning goes out.
Yeah, where it's like 105 plus on any given day.
Right,
yes.
Sure.
So he was unable to find somewhere to get in on quick notice like that, pulling a trailer.
Right.
And so we told him, come on in, we'll get you taken care of. We parked his trailer out front in our parking lot where it was safe. We got his AC compressor replaced, got him serviced, got him back on the road, and they've been customers of ours ever since.
Did you know how many fleet vehicles he had when you helped him out?
I did not.
And how many fleet vehicles does he have?
Somewhere between 25 and 30.
So this ended up being a great thing.
Yes, it did.
And of course, Bakersfield is a relatively small town with 400,000 people that live here.
Not too many, it's fine, just a few.
But that was the first one. How did you parlay that into other fleet accounts? Did you ask him, do you know anybody? Or did he just say, hey, you need to go talk to Karmen?
So most of the time they just say you need to go talk to Karmen.
Right.
I've done a lot of footwork throughout the years where I've gone out and built customers. King Door is one of ours, major accounts. CRC Oil is one of our accounts. KSI, Robert Healy,
Wow.
you know, I've done the footwork. We stay pretty busy, but most of our customers come and our fleet accounts come from word of mouth because they say you got to go see them over at Speedy Smog.
Now, Visioneers, as many of you know, I give my guests a list of questions ahead of time. Generally, it's to have them get an idea of the kinds of things we're going to be talking about. And every once in a while, I actually do ask, one of those questions. And this is it, because when Karmen and I were talking prior to hitting record, that question that I found interesting was, what was your life like before your business?
It was a lot less stressful, lot less.
Well, is that a good thing?
It is, it is, but I do love the stress out of, at the end of the day, I don't take it home. So it works, but yeah, it was a lot more peaceful and less stressful before.
But you've got 50 cars a day coming through.
We do.
Somehow I think that would go ahead and keep the lights on.
It definitely does. We are blessed there. We are taken care of.
When we come back, we're going to talk about how culture has changed dramatically in the last 10 years, and how do you keep your soul in the process. When we talk more about that when we come right back. The reason we're here with Karmen Shuford, the co-owner of Speedy Smog and Autos, because of a Visioneer question that came from a Visioneer just like you. They wanted to find out, how do I go through and talk to people? How do I speak in a language that they can understand? So if you've got a question, you've got a thought, something you'd like to learn about here on Small Business Celebration, reach out to us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and let us know. Who knows, your question could appear here on Small Business Celebration. So reach out to us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram today. I'm here with Karmen Shuford, the co-owner of Speedy Smog and Auto Repair, and our Visioneer question comes from Tori, who asks, the culture of our customers has dramatically changed in the last 10 years. What are you doing to adapt to them without losing who you are?
We're just trying to be prepared for them, to be kind to them, and just educate them.
Okay, how so?
So we try to give them as much information as we can on the phone as far as what they're going to need for their smog inspection, what they need to bring with them, how long they can expect, times that they're going to not be able to get it after, because depending on the year, we do have different cutoffs. Try to eliminate that frustration for them.
How has the customer changed in the last 8 years?
Significantly. Definitely with the COVID and things like that, they're a lot grumpier sometimes.
Okay. Right.
And so they just need grace and kindness.
Okay.
A little more than usual.
Sure. When the customer comes in, what are some of the things that you're finding right now that they're just not prepared for, that they used to be prepared for 8 years ago, 10 years ago, that you and I would think would be commonplace, but aren't necessarily for them?
Just even having paperwork. Like most of the time, everybody's got a registration in their vehicle, right? It's a law. What if you get pulled over?
Right.
You'd be amazed how many people don't have a registration, don't know where it is, don't know what they need, how long it's going to take. They're not, prepared for the schedule.
Right.
So if it takes 15 minutes, or if we have a few cars in line, they're frustrated because they're on a timeline because they weren't prepared.
How do you help them through that?
We give them as much information as we can on the phone, and when they're checking in, we give them a timeline, let them know. We also ask them for that information. They're really quick to say, I don't have it. We kind of coach them, do you have one in your glove box, even if it's old, that type of thing.
Right.
Just information.
How do you teach your employees and your children on how to work with the customers, especially for those that don't know, I'm supposed to have my registration in my car?
So mostly just with kindness. We let them, they know the procedure, and so we teach them to ask for it first. If they don't have that, kind of just coach them, check your glove box, could it be here, even if it's an old one. Mostly just do it with kindness. When
you're not here, what do you like to do for fun?
I like to get out of Bakersfield. I like to travel.
Where do you like to go?
I like to go anywhere.
Okay.
My latest, I just got home from Kona, Hawaii.
Oh, did you get to see the volcano go off?
I did not. It happened after I got home.
The nerve.
I know. So we got to see it, and in its dark beauty. We didn't get to see any bright lights that were red, but that's okay.
When you go travel and you go to these different locations, what are some of the things that you like to do?
Top 5 things in that city or town.
Top 5.
They live there. They know. They're highly rated, and so they've got to be fun, right?
Well, how do you find what the top 5 are?
Like everybody else, Google.
Okay.
You do your research.
Okay, so why the top 5 things?
Because if you get anything past 5, it's probably not as much fun. So I like to do the best first, and then if we have extra time, we'll do past the top 5.
What have you learned from doing the top 5 things in all these different places you've been to and visited that you apply to your business?
Sometimes you just do it afraid.
Okay.
So parasailing for me was kind of scary.
Okay.
I'm afraid of heights. That was scary.
Right.
But so was opening a business, especially making it through COVID, getting up and going to work every day. So you just do things afraid sometimes.
Hold on with white knuckles and pray for the best, huh?
That is a fact.
You mentioned that things are changing.
Yes.
In the industry, and it's no secret in California that we're going towards electric on everything, which is going to impact your business a lot.
Definitely.
That's going to present some challenges.
Yes, it is.
What are some of the things that you're looking at doing to help mitigate that or work with those changes as they come down the pike?
So education.
Okay.
We got to go back and get educated in the new things, and because knowledge is power.
Right.
And so as times change, so do we. We need to be on top of things and knowledgeable in what's coming out and what's going on.
I almost forgot to do this, but we have somebody very important that Karmen needs to give a shout out to. Because, well, first of all, who are you want to giving a shout out to real quick?
My friend Bobby Lynch over at Event Tent and Merch.
And why do you give him a shout out?
Because number 1, he's brought you here today. And number 2, he keeps us looking good in our uniforms, our jackets, our sweaters, our hats, our beanies. He keeps us going.
And if visionaries want to find out about Bobby and what he's got going on, how do they do that?
They just give him a call at Event Tent and Merch. You can Google his phone number.
And there you have it.
Because I don't know it by heart. I'm sorry, Bobby.
What makes you wake up every morning and open your business?
The fact that the community needs us. So they have a service that they need. They've come to know us and depend on us. And so being open on the days that you're scheduled to be open and the times you're open is important. Their time is important. They're on a schedule as well. And so you got to get up and do it. There's always someone in a worse situation, and so you never know what hope you're going to bring them or who's going to walk through your door that day that you could encourage.
Karmen, this has been a privilege. If visionaries want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
They can call me at 661-834-7664. They can come to our location at 7001 White Lane. They can email me at speedysmog75@yahoo.com, or they can reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook.
This has been a real treat. Thank you for joining us here on Small Business Celebration, Karmen. This was fun.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And I'll be right back with my final thought.
The winter season is rapidly approaching, but are the tires on your car or truck ready for wet weather? Bakersfield's best tire store, Claru Tire, has been serving families like yours for 80 years and installs and services the tires your family depends on when the wet weather comes. Give Claru Tire a call at 661-324-6069 and ask them about what tire works best for you and your budget. Call Claru Tire at 661-324-6069 or visit them at 530 East 21st Street in Bakersfield or at clarutire.com today. The wet winter weather is rapidly approaching. Call Claru Tire at 661-324-6069 today.
All you have to do is ask. Earlier in our conversation with Karmen Shuford, the co-owner of... all you have to do is ask.
Earlier in our conversation with Karmen Shuford, the co-owner of Speedy Smog and Auto Repair, she told us how her husband asked her to come join the family business. And she joined the family business, and because of her skills to be able to communicate well with people and explain things well with people, the business went from 10 to 12 to maybe 15 cars a day to well past 50 that they enjoy today. And it's all because her husband asked her to. Well, when she told this story, I was immediately reminded of a story that happened earlier in my life. You see, my mom found a recipe in Sunset magazine for cabbage salad. Now, the recipe is actually really pretty simple. It's made up of cabbage, red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, sugar, and salt. And it's one of those recipes that instantly became a family favorite. And in fact, when my mom would make that salad and take it to parties, invariably the bowl would come home empty. Well, after I had graduated college and was living out on my own, I decided one day I was going to make this delicious salad one day. Well, I went to the store and I got the cabbage and I got the red wine vinegar and I got the white wine vinegar and the salt, and I came home and I made this salad. And I mixed it all up and I went ahead and I took a big bite out of it, and it tasted absolutely awful. It was horrible, and I couldn't understand what I did. And so I called my mom and I said, "Mom, what did I do wrong?" And she asked, "Well, what did you do?" And I said, "Well, I got the cabbage, I got the red wine vinegar, I got the white wine vinegar, and the salt." And she said, "Yeah, you forgot something. You forgot the pinch of sugar." And she said, "Michael, that pinch of sugar makes all the difference in the world." So the next day I went down to the grocery store and I got the cabbage, the white wine vinegar, the red wine vinegar, the salt, and the sugar. I went home, mixed it all up, and ate it, and it was delicious. It was wonderful. And I called my mom and I said, "Mom, thank you for this. It tastes absolutely wonderful." And she said, "You're welcome, Michael. And in the future, all you have to do is ask." I hope you enjoyed our conversation this week with Karmen Shuford, the co-owner of Speedy Smog and Auto Repair. And I hope you learned something that you can use today to grow a strong and profitable business. And we'll see you here again next week. Why did the snail paint an S on the hood of his car?
To say he's slow?
No. So when he drove past people, they go, "Hey, look, escargot."
That's
But I'm sorry.
I am Karmen Shuford. I am the co-owner and operator of Speedy Smog and Auto Repair.
Try that again. Go ahead, try that again.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I am Karmen Shuford. I am the co-owner of Speedy Smog and Auto Repair, owner, operator, and smog technician.